So I had a call from someone offering me this beast, and I've just gone and picked it up. It is a Mercedes CLS with the 2.1 diesel in it, which is the engine I find a lot of people rave about as being a very reliable engine that will do huge mileage. It's AMG spec. It's obviously not AMG engine, but AMG spec in terms of the accessories and so forth. What I can't believe, this is a 66 plate with 70,000 miles on, is the value of cars like this at the moment. We were speaking the other day about how some cars just have low values while others seem to be astronomically high for their age. But this is the same kind of money as the automatic Nissan Qashqai on a 66 plate that I had over there recently, the silver one. It's got the same sort of retail value of, I think, about 13.5-ish, I think, something like that. Which just seems like a stupid amount of money for a 66 plate car with well under 100,000 miles on it of this kind of spec. I've driven it around and it drives absolutely great, as you'd expect. The front brakes are a little bit, they've got a little bit of grabbiness on them, but I've actually got discs and pads with the car, so that is ideal. It's got a good service history. I think it's 100% full. I think we've got about 6 services, I think, for it. 6 services, I think 4 of which are with Mercedes themselves. Condition wise, it's in really nice condition as well. The alloys are all pretty good. There's some very minor sort of marking around the edge of them. I don't think you'd bother doing it really. It's so minor because the actual face of the wheels themselves and the sensors are really good, so it seems pretty unnecessary to do that. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of little marks around it, but nothing outrageous. Tyres are all good all round. I don't think it needs any rubber anytime soon. It's pretty much free of stone chip along the front here. It's not really bad for that. All the chrome's good. I say it just looks like a huge amount of car for the money. Inside is a lovely cream leather. And that's all in lovely condition. We've got this probably fake wood up the top here, haven't we? But yeah, really, really nice condition. Headliner's lovely. We've got all the toys we should have with a car like this. Obviously, cruise control, Bluetooth, paddle shift, aircon, electric seats. We've got a DAB radio, heated seats as well. Yeah, lovely drive, lovely drive. It's all nice in the back here as well, with these little slidey bits. Yeah, I just can't get over. And not the kind of bit of stock I normally go looking for, is it, guys? But value for money wise, I just thought, you know, you put something like this all buffed up, polished up on your forecourt for, you know, something in the sub 14k range, maybe 13,995, something like that, on a 66 plate. Like I say, I just think about, let's do some comparisons. So what's that 68 plate Qashqai with a 1.5 diesel, which is a pretty base spec car. That's like 10 grand. I think that 16 plate Yeti, when it's done with what's that got on it, 60 odd thousand miles, will be, that's about 13 or 14, I think. Just seems incredible value for money. There just seems to be a few cars out there at the moment that are bucking the trend against everything else. I mean, you might say, oh, people don't want big, thirsty, high road tax cars, but obviously being a 2.1 diesel, it's not that thirsty at all. Really nice looking car. I have considered the CLS for myself before. The only problem with it is the ride height, and big wheels like that on the lanes I live in is not an ideal combination. But yeah, comment down below. What do you think of that buy for that kind of, you know, retail money? I've left the door open there. Don't worry, it's not broken. I've just left the door open. I'm gonna have people saying, "Oh, you've got a bad door on it." But yeah, like I say, I hear these 2.1s are pretty reliable engines as well that will go on to do mega miles. Yeah, a bit of a change from the normal Chops Garage kind of stock, isn't it? Boy, is that a good looking car. Anyway, in the meantime, with my cheaper stuff, unfortunately my deal on a Mokka has fallen through. Justifiably so as well. So it's being picked up yesterday, getting in the car and starting it up. DPF light came on and started smoking at the back. And the idle was erratic. Let's see this morning if it's still doing the same thing. So we're going to have to, I might have a play with this myself if I've got time. I'm suspecting possibly a leaking injector maybe, because my reasoning for that is I drove this, stop it boing in a second. My reason for thinking possibly a leaking injector is I drove this car for a good solid day. I think it might have been a couple of days without really any other problems other than perhaps a slight sort of bad idle at the very first start, but it cleared really quickly, so I thought just get some fuel cleaner for it, put a few more miles on it. Now obviously since it was due to be picked up, it's been sat for about 2 or 3 days. I'm wondering if an injector isn't leaking down onto the piston, and that's why we've got that, or if it is that's just a symptom of the bad DPF. But let's see what happens when we start up this morning. Look at that, nothing. It's idling lovely. There's no DPF light on the dashboard. What is that all about? What is that all about? Now what is all that about then? What is all that about? No smoke out the back. Now that was smoking, and it's not this morning. Now does that lend more to my thoughts that it's maybe a leaking injector? Because obviously it was started last night and was run last night. We're on what, probably 10 hours later on now. Previously been sat for a few days. I wonder if it is leaky injector. I best plug it in and see what we've got code wise, but normally a DPF light doesn't just turn itself off like that. It's idling absolutely perfectly. Oh, the games are selling older stuff, eh? It's going to obviously have to have a few more drives. I might run it around for a couple of days and just see if that happens again to me at all when I'm using it regularly or not. But I will plug it in and we'll see what the codes say. Oh well, another thing on the list of stuff to faff around with. So quick update, if you can remember that far back, on our subscriber that bought the red Ford Focus off me. And he had a bit of a wobble when the ABS light came on and thought he might want to change the car because he read obviously a lot of stuff about the wet belts as well. And he tried came over and tried the i20, tried the Mazda 2 and decided he'd keep the Focus because it was the better car. Well, if you remember, I agreed a deal with him where he'd go down and get the ABS sorted. We also got the foam inserts on the back of the car removed from the boot because I think that was causing some damp into the boot. You'll know about our Ford Focus if you do a lot of them. We've had one. They can get damp boots, and there's 2 foam blocks either side underneath the bumper that absorb water and put it up into the boot of the car. It gets absorbed by the carpets. That's quite common. So we had that done as well. But we also had the wet belt done. The deal I had with him on the wet belt was that I would get it done for him at trade rates, but also I'd give him £250 towards it in goodwill. So he has just had notification it's been done by Moores. His proportion of the bill was, including the VAT, I think it was like £550 plus the VAT, around about £700. So he's been able to get a wet belt done on his Ford Focus like the one in there. I think the standard rate for the wet belts at the moment is anywhere, people have been quoting anywhere between £1,200 and £1,800 to have the wet belt done on it. So yeah, he's only paid £700 to have it done, and obviously the warranty work for the leak repairs and the ABS sensor he didn't pay anything for at all. I paid for that. I think it was £150 plus the VAT for that work. So he's had, well, I would say probably in the region of, I know Moores are going to charge at least £1,200 to consumers, plus the VAT, I think. So he's probably had easy good part of 1,500 quid's worth of work done for half price. And everyone's happy, so it was a really good compromise. He's now got a car he can be confident in, because with that wet belt done, he's good to go for, and that should be good to go for another 10 years, no problem at all, or 150,000 miles. We've done those niggly bits from that he's picked up on warranty work-wise in the first few weeks of driving it. So a good result all round. Any deal where both parties end up happy is the kind of one you want to have. And I always say with dealers as well, as I always say, don't judge them when your car goes wrong, because cars can go wrong. As Rennie said himself to me, he recognises the cars have thousands of components on them, and you're buying a used car. So likelihood of something going wrong, it's actually quite high that something might go wrong within your first few months of ownership when you start using it every day. Judge a dealer on how he treats you at that point, not on the fact that something actually happened with the car. Trev from Moore's just taken away the Mokka. It started for him again. No lights on the dash, no smoke, anything like that. The reason I've got him taken away straight away is, it's funny how these things work out. I had a telephone call this morning from a chap who said he'd been up here yesterday when I wasn't about and had a look over the Mokka, and he needed an automatic. That's not mine, by the way, it's just what Trev's left. He needed an automatic, and that was in the kind of price range you could have. So he's keen to go and check it out. But he's going to go down to Moore's and check it out tomorrow. But they're going to plug it in now and have a little look at it and see what's happening, if anything is happening at all with the DPF. It's a strange one. I've never known a car bring a DPF light on and then go straight out again, smoke for a bit and then stop. My gut says it might be injector related possibly, but I should update you when I know. Oh, I've been machine polishing again. I just seem to be incessantly machine polishing. So this is the C-Max that we had the wet belt done on, and I'm now giving it machine polish because it's now MOT'd, serviced, all ready to go out the door for its new owner. So it's only done 54,000 miles on it, hasn't it? Interestingly, I was just talking to Trev. He just completed the cam belt change for me on the red Ford Focus that I sold to a customer that had the 1 litre EcoBoost. And unlike these two here, that one had done about 75, I want to say, 1,000 miles, something like that. And he said that the belt on that one was breaking up. But in fairness, that was due its wet belt the following year. And it was going to be due it at 100,000 miles as well. So it would have, 150,000 miles or 10 years, isn't it? So it would have been due its cam belt the following year. So he said that he didn't look like it was going to fall apart any day soon, but it was breaking up. So he said he thought it was going to be pretty much bang on for change on its standard service interval. So this one had a completely clean wet belt, didn't it, at 50-odd thousand miles. Belt looked perfect. That one, nearly 80,000 miles, nearly 10 years old. So this one is older, but lower mileage. The belt was fine on this. So it's interesting. It's interesting with these wet belts. We'll do a few more and we'll see what they look like and see if we can't gauge exactly where they start to go bad. Tomorrow I might be doing some filming out and about. We've got 2 subscriber pickups to do. So 2 subscribers have been in touch to offer me their cars with agreed deals. So I am off to pick them up. As always, massive thanks to everyone that gets in touch. You've got the form on the site. You can do it via WhatsApp. You can do it via Instagram. But everyone that gets in touch to offer their vehicles, massively appreciate. It doesn't always work out because of distance, that kind of thing. But it really does help when you guys have a family member or yourself are getting rid of a car, or you're about to part exchange in, to think of me and send it across. I really do appreciate it. So we'll do a bit of videoing on the move possibly tomorrow, depending on how busy it gets. So what have we got to pick up? We've got to pick up a... God, what am I picking up? I'm picking up a Nissan Qashqai. And I'm picking up a VW EOS, which is a bit strange, but it's a low mileage one in nice condition with an automatic gearbox. And the sun has been sticking its head out a little bit. So we'll see how that gets on. I'm thinking possibly it might make a good raffle prize for the next raffle for next month, because it'd be the kind of thing you wouldn't necessarily normally treat yourself to, but nice practical thing to get out in the sunshine with, that you can get everybody in. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that down below. I think it's only got, what's it got on it, 30,000 miles I think, on a 2014, something like that, with a DSG gearbox. So that might work out quite well. Like I say, yeah, we'll try and make things a little bit different rather than me just wandering around the unit. We'll try and get some footage on the road tomorrow. Don't forget the raffle for our 2015 Seat Ibiza, little 1 litre 3-door Ibiza here, is now up and running. It's had a fresh MOT on it. It's all set to go for its new owner. It will be coming out with a warranty as well. With this raffle, we are giving a proportion of the proceeds to the Torrington Food Bank to help support them. And if you don't want the car but you still want to get involved, there is a cash alternative of £2,500. So I'll put a link to that in the video description down below. Tickets are just £2 a ticket. Loads of bundle special offers as well, or if you buy a certain amount of tickets, you get a load free.